Alright, so what I have for you today is using the foam roller. Okay, so you can get obviously ones made strictly of foam, or you can get ones that have the plastic insert, which gives you a little bit more harder density, a little bit more deep tissue massage. Or you can just completely fabricate one like I did, and I just took the outer shell of a foam roller and then replace it with some PVC pipe. Or you can just buy one, you know, in any case. So, some of the basics is I like to start with it up by my shoulders. So, I'll just place it there, and I'll just lay back, find the top of my shoulders, make sure my blades and my shoulders aren't totally off. And once I get into this position, I'm going to go ahead and cross. I'm just going to flare my scapula out so I get the muscles on top of the scapula, not rolling over those, those edges. So here, I'm not going to tuck my chin really hard. I really want to keep it relatively neutral as I'm going through this motion. So in any case, we're going to stay at the top half, right, just underneath the shoulder blades, then come back. So we're not going all the way down just yet. Now, another thing to keep in mind is breathing's super important when we're doing this. And the reason why is because obviously when you breathe, you inhale, that's going to expand that rib cage. And when you exhale, right, you're going to contract it just a bit. So when you're rolling these muscles up and down, you can actually get a more deeper stretch, a deeper roll if you're breathing correctly. So the correct breathing strategy when you are doing this, right, is starting here, cross my arms. Now as I'm going back, as I'm going behind me, as I'm rolling back, I want to exhale. And as I come forward, expand my ribcage, inhale. Now it's not uncommon to get little cavitations in the vertebrae, feel a little pop, click here. That's fairly normal. Now let's say after we roll the top part of our back with that perfect breathing pattern, maybe 15, 20 times, or whatever your tolerance is, we're going to go to the bottom half, like down to the belt line essentially. And I have to keep adjusting because I keep moving backwards. So it's going to come forward again. And I still want to start at the shoulders. All right, but this time I'm going to go a little further back, again, to that belt line. And I'm still going to keep that same breathing pattern. Exhale, inhale. You could find a nice, comfortable rhythm, nice tempo, to fit your breathing pattern as well. And then once we work the bottom half, then we'll go and we'll do the entire back. So exhale all the way back, inhale all the way to the shoulders, be careful of the neck obviously, and then coming back. Okay. Now, even with flaring those scapula out, we're still going to miss, in between those shoulder blades. Some of those muscles are really tough to get to. So what I like to do is I like to move my body so that this edge is essentially between my scapula, and obviously you have to do one at a time. But what I'll do here is I'll still get on the same way, except I'll just scoot over, scoot, 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 until I feel that edge on the inside, the medial end of my shoulder blade. And then we're going to do the same thing, right? Flare those scapula out, and you're going to roll between those shoulder blades. You might have to turn your body just a slight tilt to really get in there. And again, same breathing pattern. Exhale as I go back, inhale as I come forward. And then when you're done, obviously you drop your butt, take pressure off your shoulder, and then you can turn out of it or just, sit up. So another way you can do this is instead of crossing and flaring your shoulder blades that way, you can also cradle your head and touch your elbows together. So this is what this looks like. It does essentially the same thing, very small differences. The only thing that's nice is you get to relax your neck when you cradle. So start at the top, right? Cradle my head, chin, neck neutral, right? And I'm just letting my head hang in my hands, touch my shoulder, or elbows rather, together. Exhale to go back, trying to keep a nice parallel to the floor position with my upper body. And move back, exhale. And I'm using, if you can't see in the video, I'm not sure how much the video is picking up, but I'm using my heels to really dig into the floor to move myself forwards and backwards. So that's using the foam roller, you know, in such a way for massage. Now the next one I'm going to go to is we're actually going to utilize it for stretching. So it's kind of like it's like a modified child's pose, I guess you would say, like we were just bringing it up a little bit. So I'm using my foam roller. I'm not putting my hand so much as it is like the base of my palm, right, on the actual roller. So here, right, base of the palm, or where your carpals would be, right, on the knees, stretching forward. Now once I get to that nice extended elbow, the protracted shoulders, now I'm going to sink my shoulders down, and you're going to get a great stretch through the shoulders, neck, back, even to the mid-back. So from here, drop the shoulders, exhale. And just as important as breathing, you know, through the last one, and breathing's important too. You want to take nice big breaths and nice exhales as well. And again, you're going to feel, you know, especially if you have tight muscles in that shoulder girdle region or even the back, some of the serratus muscles as well, since we're like really getting into it, you'll feel those really start to loosen. It's kind of nice. So that's another way to use this. Again, not so much for the deep tissue, but sort of use as a you know, a wedge to get a little bit more depression as you're coming down into the stretch. So the next two stretches that I have for the shoulders, neck, and what have you are, you're not going to be using the foam roller. Actually, we can just use a door frame for this next stretch I'm going to show. So what you're doing, you're just finding, right, basic door frame. Obviously, if it's too wide, it's not really going to work. But you want to bring your forearms up, right? Arms against the wall, elbows maybe just a little bit underneath the shoulders or shoulder height, that's fine. Take a step back, just a little one, and you're going to lean forward. All right? So what this is going to do, this is really stretching out the chest, right, shoulders, and like the previous video, we're getting that, you know, we're getting a slight like span of those scapula. So forward, and you're going to breathe through it just as you would any of the other stretches that we do. Again, if you want to extend the neck upward, you can get some of those scalene muscles that are usually tight that connect into the rib, right? And also we can bring our chin down just as well, so we get the stretch right in the back there. So we can tuck that chin. All right. So the last stretch I have for you is going to be using a belt. Obviously you can use a towel or anything of the sort, but in this case we're just going to use, I'm just going to use a belt that I have from you know, an old jiu-jitsu belt. So what I'm doing, say I want to stretch my left arm. All right, so when I'm stretching, you know, I'm getting that internal rotation, right, in the shoulder. All right, so what I do is I just dangle with the opposite arm, and I grab thumb up, right, and once I get a nice grip, I'm going to use my right hand, or right arm rather, to nice and easily climb that fist up between the shoulder blades. So I'm getting a nice stretch in those internal rotators, or external rather. And then once I feel like I've got a nice stretch, I'm going to bring it back down nice and easy. All right, and then obviously we'll switch sides. So I'm going to switch the other side, grab here, grit, thumb up, right? And then nice and easy. Just gonna walk that wrist up. Just walk, 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 walk the best you can. Keeping that chin tucked as you do so. So we get that internal rotation of the opposite arm. And then nice and gently bring them back down. Now, ultimately, you should be able to touch your fingers if you're to do this on both sides. Most people are unable to. I have a little bit more difficult time with my right arm getting that internal rotation. But to use as a rule of thumb, you should be able to touch your fingers on both sides. If not, you're probably super tight in the shoulder girdle region. But in any case, hope this helps. Thank you.